more, and I'm going to be posting more live through YouTube as well as Facebook and others. I just wanted you to know that all of our videos, the videos that I do and stuff, is posted on YouTube and other media outlets. So yeah, you can check them all out and appreciate that. And any responses is always yeah, appreciated. So I just wanted to give you a brief prophetic recap, not a recap, it's a preview of future events that I believe are unfolding and some things I feel like the Lord has revealed to me. And more, I realize the insight or foresight that I get about certain things is very governmentally related. And so I just have a tendency to fall into that trend or that track, and actually wherever the Holy Spirit leads me. But prophetically, it seems more governmental, and yeah. So it's not like I follow the path of least resistance because I get a lot of resistance, but just things that I feel like that I'm hearing more clearly about. And so, yeah, I just kind of, lean toward that more. And not that I can't go into other areas, and I do. So I just want to again give you a preview of some things. We have an online meeting that I'm going to be doing on March 16th, Sunday morning at 8:30 a.m. And yeah, we have an event that is happening in April 1st. Is this March? Yeah, April 1st at the Yakima Civic Center. And I'm going to be in Nebraska. And I think we posted that. If not, I will post it again. And then see in the first week, second week of April, I will be in Florida, Glory Fire Church. So yeah, that's kind of the schedule, at least part of it at this point. So let me just dive into a preview of some things that are unfolding, a reminder of some things that I shared, previously, and I mean like a few years back, and just bring you currently, bring everything current. So on December 2020, I had told you that we were moving out of an age of prophetic warnings into an age of prophetic alignment. Now, many of you might know more of what that means in terms of the prophetic has always been about warning, warning. Will Robertson, anyhow, it's the old series Lost in Space. That tells how old I am. When I was a child, I watched that series. And yeah, so the whole thing for years has always been prophetic warning of this, prophetic warning of that. And I told you that a time would come that bad news would become good news. And so I related to myself as a good news prophet in terms of the future, and not negating the bad stuff or whatever, but I just felt like that God wanted me to focus on the good news, and as a co-creator with God, then to bring those things to light, right? So that's what I do. And I've learned to take even a very difficult, a very dark situation in life, or maybe even personally, and turn it into something glorious in terms of God's intent and desire. So yeah, so we're moving out of that age of just, prophetic warnings about all of the future and dangers and dangers and stuff, into an age of prophetic alignment, which means that we are geared more toward aligning earth with heaven, and then speaking about all the things that are part of that alignment in the physical world as well as in the heavenly realm. So new that means new partnerships with the U.S. Now this is a word I shared back in 2020. New partnerships with the U.S. would come into view. So we just went through 4 years of seemingly opposite, right? But now we're in that time where there's unusual partnerships that are developing right now. U.S. and Mexico. Again, this is 2020. I said U.S. and Mexico and Canada will come together in ways most never expected. and and then I said the transformation of the borders will become what most never expected now. So I believe those things are unfolding right now, and current opposers will be realigned toward the greater good. We're seeing those things unfold right now. Unusual agreements will minimize other opposing countries, so much so they begin to align themselves with the United States and other countries on historic levels. And I believe, again, that is now unfolding. And I've repeatedly said this over the years that in light of everything that Israel encounters in terms of, combat, battling, whatever, that a time will come that Israel will enter into an age of peace. I believe we are nearing now in that season where you will begin to see Israel operating in a time of peace in a way that they haven't in over 200 plus years, and actually further than that. But these are all kind of contrary to maybe a lot of beliefs or interpretation of scriptures and so forth and so on. So I love doing this because I really believe that it is the intent of God, the intent of heaven on earth. And so I released to you words about the money laundromat, the dream I had. I'm going to be sharing some more things to you about that in the future, and just some recent activity that has taken place that has proved that out more and more. And so, again, I'm going to speak more about future peace and being the restoration of all things. In the beginning, how things can look a bit messy, but afterwards, the love, glory of God is realized. And so I've said repeatedly that exposing the works of the enemy can be very messy and chaotic as well. But in the end, the peace and rest of God will be greater realized. So this is kind of a track that I stay in because I really believe it is the heart of God, the mind of God for this nation and the world. And a recent word that the Lord gave me, and I'm going to speak more about this in the days to come, is a word the Lord gave me about checkmate and how this nation has come into a moment of checkmate. And so the idea of a checkmate is when you're playing chess and you move a piece or place it where an opponent's king is under threat of being taken on the next move, then there's no way of escape, right? And so that's considered the no way out, and that's a checkmate. And so we are coming into that. It's becoming more evident. So what do I mean by that? I'm going to break it down again in the next few days. But on a national level and international level, we are entering into a checkmate where the countries that have been contradictive or coming against what would be the primary intent of God for this nation and the nations of the world are going to be placed on checkmate. They're going to realize they have no moves to make other than, other life or death. And so they're going to be boxed into a corner, and they're going to realize that they literally ran out of moves. So I don't know if we have historically have ever seen that happen, but we are coming into that, and I'm looking forward to sharing with you more of what that is. And again, and back in 21, I was talking about future peace. Again, related to all of the restoration of different things that would occur, and I'm going to get into that more. Also, I feel like the Lord's been speaking to me about the future bills, that pass through the White House and government. Something is going to shift. So what I'm always looking at is there's a pattern of things that have happened either 100 years, 200 years, or whatever, and all of a sudden the pattern shifts, it changes because there is a divine intervention that takes place. So I try to align myself with what I believe is the divine intervention of heaven on earth. And so even if I see something negative, even if there's something on the radar that can be chaotic or, catastrophe, I'm always the guy that wants to step into that and go, wait a minute, Father, I know this isn't your intent, your desire. And I kind of might take the stance that Moses took when God just wanted to wipe out Israel in that day. And he's like, wait a minute, So we didn't come this far to die. Everybody's going to think you just let them out the desert to kill them, right? And so I kind of take that stance no matter what. And the so when I'm saying that the future bills coming through the White House, that they will actually create a future prosperity in the United States, I believe in ways we've never witnessed before. And obviously, that takes a level of agreement. So, agreement is changing, is shifting. And right now, there are still signs of just this total chaotic, separation or division. So, I think in order to be prophetic, you have to be able to see beyond that, see through the eyes of God's intent and desire for the future government and how that will unfold. So, a good way of sharing this would be, and how I'm going to break this down in the future, is the tares or weeds are being separated right now from the wheat in the United States of United States government, right? So the end result will eventually manifest in an agreement that we have never witnessed before, I believe in over 200 years plus. And so, yeah, this is a game changer. Also, I'm going to be sharing in the future some things about Elon Musk and some things that God is doing in his life. Now, I released a few prophetic words about Elon Musk before he came on the scene and playing the role that he did. I said he would be a key player in government, as well as some other people, whether it was RFK, Vivek Ramaswamy, and and some others. So he's obviously playing an important role. So I'm going to share with you some things how I believe what God is doing in Elon's life, and some of the things that have happened, and the decisions that he's made, consequences that he's gone through, and certain things how they have unfolded, and the idea of a risk taker, and what does that look, laying everything on the altar, and all for the sake not of getting wealth, but for a better world, right? And so I'm going to break all this down. I think it's going to be pretty amazing in terms of some things I'm going to share with you, how all of that aligns with what God is doing and how it relates to you in your personal life. In other words, sacrifices that you've made, things that you have just stepped out and done, and the things that seem like they were very costly to you, and how we're coming into a payday, so to speak, in terms of all of that. So yeah, so there's just a whole lot of things that are unfolding, and of course, I'm going to reach beyond what the things that look possible into the areas of impossibility. So anyhow, yeah, this is just a preview of a few things that I'm really going to dive into, and I'm going to do it very optimistically and very confident in what God's intentions are toward this nation and the world. Again, I think sometimes when we're leaning toward things that, wow, it's looking better and better, and there's other things that are going on, well, we're just at the beginning of things looking better and better. And I realize there are people out there that when things look better, and obviously some people don't think they're looking better. But even those people will be convinced because of some future outcomes that will transpire. I believe a veil is being lifted, it will be ripped away, and what people couldn't see before, they will begin to see. And so this is part of the revelation of the kingdom of God upon the earth. And so, yeah, this is a time for unfolding revelation to rise in the earth, the knowledge of the glory of the Lord becoming more evident than it has ever been before, and which means that this intense spirit of division is being weakened right now at its very roots. And I spoke to you a number of times about this is the time and the season where the axe is being laid to the root of government, just as Jesus did in his day. And so some extraordinary things are about ready to unfold. So, yeah, this is that. All right, everybody, Kingdom Cheers. Don't forget to tune in. I think Sunday. Yeah, Sunday the 16th, 8:30 8:30 a.m. Pacific time. And I will be doing that live on Facebook, Danforth Ministries. Kingdom cheers. See ya.